The Yankees just lost the series to Cleveland. 9-4, 5-4, and winning the last game 2-1. But honestly, the final scores aren't the biggest story. The biggest story is what didn't happen. Because for most of the series, the Yankee fans were bracing for disaster. Judge missed all 3 games. The rumors were swirling. After the 3rd game, we heard it could possibly be thoracic outlet syndrome, season-ending concerns, 9 to 10 month recovery timelines, and suddenly the conversation wasn't about the series against Cleveland. It was about whether the Yankees' season had changed for the worse. Now it appears Judge's injury is a fractured rib, with a reevaluation time 4 to 6 weeks out. It's still significant, but compared to what many feared, feels like the Yankees escaped the worst case scenario. And honestly, that reality may overshadow everything that happened on the field. So game 1, we lose 9-4. Cam Schlittler started and had probably his worst outing of the season. He goes 4.1 innings, gives up 5 hits, no walks, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned, and only 3 strikeouts. On the bright side, Goldschmidt went 3 for 5 with a 2-run homer, all 4 of the Yankees' RBIs in the game, and he's looking like he's on a hot streak. So it's good that we can find ways to keep him in the lineup. Brent Hedrick inherits the bases loaded with 1 out in the 5th, strikes out both batters that he faced in that inning. Doval then comes up with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and 2 strikes in the 8th, and instead of keeping it at a 2-run game, he gives up a bases-clearing double to make it 9-4 and essentially put the game out of reach. In Game 2, the Yankees have Gerrit Cole pitching, his 3rd outing of the season, and his first not-so-great outing of the season. He ends up going 5.1 innings, 6 hits, 1 walk, 4 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. He gave up 3 home runs in the game. For the Yankees offense, we had solo home runs from Jazz Chisholm and Jose Caballero, and Bellinger added 2 sac flies in the 6th and 9th inning for the Yankees' 4 runs. Tim Hill comes in and pitches 2 outs, gives up 2 hits, 1 earned run, gets 1 strikeout. This is now his 3rd appearance in a row, giving up at least 1 earned run. So the Yankees lose that one 5-4. And then Game 3, the Yankees have Rodón pitching, and he pitched an absolute gem. He goes 6 innings, gives up 2 hits, 3 walks, 1 earned run, and gets 7 strikeouts. For the Yankees offense, there wasn't all that much there, but Jazz Chisholm did get a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning to tie the game at 1, and then Ryan McMahon added a go-ahead RBI single in the 7th inning to give the Yankees the 2-1 lead, and they ultimately win by that score. So the Yankees lost the series, but the story wasn't a lack of effort. The story was starting pitching struggles early, bullpen concerns continuing, and an offense trying to survive without Judge. But finally, we got that one excellent baseball game in Game 3. Fantastic starting pitching, shut down bullpen, and the offense scored just enough to win the game. So what held in this series? Well, number one is the Yankees kept competing without Judge. And this matters because Judge is their best hitter. And in addition to being their best hitter, he is the center of their offense. And despite losing the first 2 games, the Yankees were still in both games pretty late. And that says something. Because they're pitching to guys differently when Judge isn't there. You think about Ben Rice. Ben Rice is having an excellent season. And part of that has to do with they don't want to put him on base and then face Judge with somebody on. So now without Judge in that lineup, he's going to get different pitches. It changes the entire offense not having him in there. And the Yankees continue to compete even without him. Number 2 is Ryan McMahon continues to contribute. So after struggling early in the year, he's finally hitting a groove and getting some hits when it matters. Game 3, getting that RBI single. It was the game-winning RBI. So that's just another example of somebody stepping up when the Yankees need production from elsewhere. And the third thing that held was Carlos Rodón delivering his best start of the season. And this was massive. They go 6 innings, only give up 1 run, and get the 7 strikeouts. This looked like the Rodón that the Yankees need moving forward, and especially with Judge out, and especially with uncertainty surrounding this lineup right now. So what did not hold in this series? Well, the first thing, the obvious, Cam Schlittler finally looked human. This was his first rough outing. He allowed 5 runs and only got 3 strikeouts. Still not a reason to panic. Obviously, every young pitcher is eventually going to get hit, and the question now becomes, how will he respond moving forward? So we will see that in this upcoming series against Boston. The second thing that didn't hold was Gerrit Cole wasn't all that sharp. His third outing out, gives up 3 home runs and only 2 strikeouts. It's not the version of Cole we're used to seeing. Now, am I worried? No. But it is worth noting. I mean, you can't expect him to be perfect coming back from the injury. The fact that he hadn't pitched in about a year and a half, his first 2 outings were fantastic, and then a not so good one. And that's kind of to be expected, but again, worth noting. The third thing that did not hold was Tim Hill's struggles continuing. It's 3 consecutive appearances now allowing runs. The first one he gave up 4, the last 2 he gave up 1 run apiece, and it's becoming a trend. And it's a trend that the Yankees bullpen cannot afford right now because they've already been struggling. So, did the Yankees respond in this series? Well, even though they lost the series, they did have a response. Game 1 went badly. Game 2 slips away. You've got Judge out the entire series. The fan base is panicking about what's wrong with him. But then in Game 3, the Yankees played one of their cleanest games in weeks. Rodón dominates. The defense holds. The bullpen shuts down Cleveland. And they manufactured just enough offense. That is a response. Not enough to win the series, obviously, but it was enough to avoid a disaster. It was enough to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Guardians, who are not a better team than the Yankees, but they took the series. So, what was the turning point of the series? Well, honestly, the turning point off the field was the Judge news. Because the emotional temperature of this entire series changed when we realized this injury might not be season-altering. Because this whole series, we're wondering what the heck is going on, what's going on. You see Boone in the press conference getting a little testy with reporters. And you start to wonder, does he know that it's really bad and he's frustrated by it? And then it comes out that he was referred to this doctor who specializes in the thoracic outlet syndrome. And if that's the case, then he's out for the season, and there might not be a next season with the lockout and all this. And then it comes out that it's probably just a fractured rib. 4 to 6 weeks, we reevaluate, he could still be here at the end of the season for the playoffs. So that was a turning point emotionally for us as fans. As for a baseball standpoint, the turning point for the Yankees was Game 3. Because if they get swept, the conversation becomes panic. Oh, the Yankees can't win a game without Judge. Oh, what's going on with the starting pitching? All this stuff. But instead, the Yankees give themselves something positive to leave the series with. For our player performances, the positive, we're going to look at Carlos Rodón here. It was his best start of the season. There's no debate there. The Yankees needed an ace. Schlittler struggled, Cole struggled, and Rodón stepped up. So for one day, he looked like an ace of the staff, and it won us a game. More positive, Goldschmidt continues to contribute. Again, you got the McMahon single that wins the game for us in Game 3. So we definitely had some positive in this series. Our concern from this series, again, is Tim Hill. You can't be consistently going out there giving up runs and expect to be trusted in important spots. The Yankees need stability from the back end of the bullpen. And right now, they're just not getting that from Tim Hill. And as for our trends, once again, Paul Goldschmidt, in that first game, going 3 for 5 with a 2-run homer, had all of the RBIs. And while everyone's talking about Judge being out, Goldschmidt is quietly putting together quite the last few games and putting this offense on his back a little bit. For our structural check, what did this series tell us? Well, as for what's aligned, Rodón is trending upward. I feel like he's gotten better and better in each of his starts since coming back. So that's a huge thing. That's important for this team moving forward. You're seeing the veteran leadership showing up. So again, with guys like Paul Goldschmidt getting those big hits, knowing that you can rely on him. And before that first game, originally it was supposed to be Goldschmidt playing first base and Ben Rice DHing. They end up switching it because it sounds like Goldschmidt was having some issues with his back, and yet he still put the team on his back and produced all 4 of the Yankees' runs in Game 1. And then the third thing that's aligned is this team is still competing despite adversity. Now, you got to figure, you got Max Schumann in the lineup in these games, and you don't have Judge, you don't have Stanton, you don't have Dominguez. You've got key pieces to this lineup that are out, and still, the Yankees win one game, and Game 2, it was a 1-run game that you lose. In Game 1, it was a much closer game until Doval gives up the bases-clearing double, but they competed in these games. They kept them close. They didn't win them, but now it's about surviving and beating the teams that you should beat, trying to compete with the teams that you might see in the playoffs, like the Guardians, until the team's healthy. And when the team is fully healthy, hopefully that'll be the case at the end of the year, then you expect to beat every team. So what's not aligned right now? Well, number one is the bullpen reliability. Still an issue. We're going to continue to keep an eye on Tim Hill. The offensive margin without Judge is another thing that's not aligned. The offense is dramatically different when he is not available. That's not surprising, but it's real. And you look at, we scored 4 runs, and 2 runs. We're used to seeing a few games in each series where the Yankees can put up 8, 9, 10 runs. But you're probably not going to see much of that if Judge is out of the lineup for an extended period. So our biggest takeaway from this series is the Yankees may have survived the injury scare, but now they have to survive the absence. And that's two very different challenges. Like I said, in Judge's absence, what we expect from this team is you still need to beat all of the teams that are under 500, which there are a lot of in the American League. And then the teams that are above 500, the teams that you could potentially see in October, just stay in the games with them. And if you can compete with them with all of these guys out of the lineup, that's going to give you the confidence to know that you can beat them when these guys are in the lineup. What did we learn from this series? Well, number one, Judge is irreplaceable. Not because they can't score, but because he changes the structure of every single lineup that he is in. It just changes the pitches that everybody sees in that lineup when he's there. Number two, Rodón may be becoming more important than ever. And especially if Judge misses significant time, the Yankees need that elite pitching. Now, you know you can get it from Schlittler, and you have gotten it from him for the entire season up until this point. You know you can get it from Cole, but still, 3 outings into the season, he's had 2 good ones, 1 bad one. Rodón needs to be part of the eliteness of this starting pitching staff. And number 3 is this team still fights. They lost the series, but they didn't fold. They could have easily lost all 3 games, but they didn't. They fought, and that's important. As for our trend lines, well, Rodón, Goldschmidt, and the resilience of this team are all trending upwards. For all the reasons we've already gone over, those are the positives that we take trending upwards from this series. Now, what's trending downwards? The bullpen stability. It's been an issue. It continues to be an issue. We did hear that Lagrange did make the move from starter to bullpen in AAA. So I believe that means that they are getting him ready to become a major league reliever, which would be great for our bullpen, considering, the speed at which he pitches. That would be huge for the back end of our bullpen. What else is trending downwards? Well, the offensive margin without Judge, it's to be expected, but now you know you're going to go an extended period of time without him, so they're going to need to be able to survive that and try to create margin. Did not work too well this series, but we'll see what happens moving forward. And then the overall panic level is trending downwards. We got the news. It's just a fractured rib. Could have been a lot worse. So that panic is trending downwards as well. So what should we watch for in the next series against Boston this weekend? Well, number one, the biggest question right now, how does this offense function without Judge? Before, we didn't know, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? What's the extent of the injury? Now we know. He's out. It's going to be weeks. How does this offense function moving forward, knowing he's not here? Number two, we're going to keep an eye on the bullpen. Is Tim Hill going to be continued to use in high leverage situations? Is he going to be used in 1-run games? That's something to take note of. And will he be able to throw some clean innings and get back on track? Or are they going to put him into some lower leverage situations maybe to build that confidence back up? And number three, the third thing to watch is how is Cam Schlittler going to respond? It's the first bit of adversity he's faced, and that's just part of becoming a major league starter. So, what is he going to do against Boston? He tends to do very well against Boston. We saw that in the playoffs. It was an epic performance. So, hopefully that'll get him right back on track. For our final verdict, the Yankees lost this series, but they may have avoided something much worse, because for a few days, it felt like maybe the season's changing. But now, the Yankees still have a path. It's not an easy one, but it's a path. The challenge now isn't surviving the injury scare, it's proving they can win while their biggest star is unavailable. And that challenge started 3 days ago. But that's the standard. Not just surviving bad news, but proving you can still move forward when adversity arrives. This is The Standard with Brian Leavy.